Hello, is it me you're looking for? Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tunes and Tales podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I've been gone for a minute now. I don't know, man. Life been life, and just got to take a break. Honestly, if I'm being honest, the podcast is not a main priority in my life right now. So, when shit comes up, kind of takes a back seat. But I'm back. We're here to finish out the season. We got about 5 or 6 more episodes left. We're gonna, power through the seasons. I hope you guys have been enjoying the episode. I hope you guys have been loving the content, loving the people we've had on, people sharing their stories and the song that reminds them of their stories. And I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me, listening, watching, wherever you consume the podcast, from the clips to the shorts or the whole episode, whatever portion of this podcast you're consuming. I appreciate it because I know the work I put into it. And if one person enjoy one clip and never enjoy anything else, I mean, that's bad business, but I appreciate that you enjoyed that one moment of the podcast. But the usual, go follow the podcast on all social medias. Like I said, we have it on YouTube if you want to watch the episode. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, we're on it. It's just Tunes and Tales Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. Again, Tunes and Tales. And let's get into it. So today's episode, we have Shaun. He is a photographer, Boston photographer. And today he just shares his time in college and what song reminds him of that moment. And we kind of dive into the photography world, the ins and outs, the awkward moments, the not so awkward moments, the big breaks, and the whole shebang. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Shaun. Be water, my love. Be water, my love. Racing for the sea. Be water, my love. And that's the way it goes when it comes to you and me. My camera shot, right?
No.
Okay, good. I was like, bro, you do photography.
Huh?
I was like, bro, you do photography. That's
That's different though.
So?
There's a lot of weird ass photographers. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
Camera shy photographers?
Yes.
How?
Because there's a difference between like being in control, being behind the camera,
Instead of being a subject. I guess. It
like,
still make no sense.
A lot of people a lot of people are behind the camera for a reason.
Okay, fair. Yeah, but if you
think of like a recording engineer, like you think they're just gonna start rapping?
Okay, fair.
They be weird.
Fair. Okay, I didn't think of that from that way. But
Yeah,
you're right. All right. So, what's the memory you want to share on today's episode of the podcast?
Okay, so should I look at the camera ever, or should I just?
No, we're just having a conversation,
okay.
So don't worry about the camera.
Memory that I have to share is I was in my dorm one time and
Time out. Yeah. What college?
I went to Clark, Atlanta.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I almost went there. Oh, for a little bit. I almost went there. Before you go, I had my stage of like trying to get out of when college, when decision came, I was like, do I want to get out of Massachusetts?
Yeah.
And it was one of my get out of Massachusetts schools.
Yeah.
But I ended up staying in Mass, so I was just whatever.
That was my goal. I was sick of white people. I was sick of my mom. I wanted to be out of Boston.
Why you just sick of white people? He's in like. Oh,
did you say why? I think there's a lot.
I forgot it's in Atlanta. Atlanta's black as
Atlanta. I forgot. Okay, when I went to Atlanta, I forgot white people existed.
I can see it
because Clark, Atlanta is an HBCU, and then Atlanta is pretty much a historically black city.
It's probably the blackest. Has to be, right?
I don't think it's the blackest, but it's
in terms of like
there.
in terms of like what's the word? No, in terms of like concentration. For example, like Framingham, actually where I went to college, the town of Framingham or city, whatever they call it, is considered the most concentrated city of Brazilians.
Okay.
Outside of Brazil. So like it could be. I don't know. Anyway, so
I don't think it is, but I think it's like top.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah.
I think like New Orleans or no, it was like Mrs. like
okay, yeah, one of
Mississippi.
them like other southern city. Okay.
Or Tennessee.
Probably New Orleans.
No, I think it was Mississippi.
I can see. I can bet.
You want to look at?
Just fuck it. We're on the podcast. I don't care. Hey Siri. What's the most concentrated city for African Americans in America?
Say
New York City has the largest population, I guess, but it's not concentrated.
No, but I feel like proportion. I don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe.
I mean,
that.
I can see New York, but it's so diverse. Like
they're still
everybody's in New
outnumbered,
York.
so I feel like
Right.
Whatever.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
So yeah, I went to Clark, Atlanta, and I was in my dorm. It was kind of like a suite, so there was an entryway. We shared a bathroom. There was one dorm on one side, one dorm on the other side. I heard this song, and I was like, "What's this?" And I don't think I liked my suite mate because I remember like I figured out what the song name was, but I don't think I asked him. I like must have looked up the lyrics or I like sound hounded it. Actually, no, I don't think I sound hounded it because when I found it, it was on SoundCloud. And I was like, this shit hits. Like, what is this?
Was it, because I know the song, but like, was it popular then? Or is like, you
it just
found
came
it before
out.
it? Oh, it just
it
came
like
out.
just,
Okay,
it wasn't on Spotify yet.
Okay.
And honestly, I like the SoundCloud version more than the
What's
like
the
mixed and mastered.
Oh, it just sounded like it was before it got like all that extra shit to it.
Actually, no, I think it got mixed and mastered. I don't know. It was just different when it came out, and I was a little mad, but I got over it.
So that
still hits.
So that reminds you of what, Atlanta or college?
Yeah, it reminds me of being in Atlanta because that was also 2017, and I feel like a lot of good music came out during that time period. And I just remember being in Atlanta, being at Clark, Atlanta. There was just like mad.
Pull the mic in. I just realized that
there was mad bops coming out.
No, you get Erica.
I'm kind of loud, so probably
okay. No, you're good.
But yeah, it reminds me about just like it was a year full of bops.
All right, so let's backtrack. We kind of said it, but why, when you got to like Atlanta school, you're trying to escape, I guess, white people. trying to escape white people. How was it when you got to Clark? Like, what was your college life like is what I'm trying to get at.
Clark was really cool. I got lucky because before I went there, I was in group chats. Because I didn't want to go there just in, like, not know anybody.
No, but group chat is strangers
group chats.
Or, like, people who...
Yeah, I didn't know anybody.
So you just... Okay, all right.
So the thing I noticed about HBCUs, and I think a lot of other colleges too, was you would go on Twitter and, like, put in CAU or whatever college you were going to, and then you would find group me's.
And what?
Group me?
The fuck is group me?
It's a group chat application.
I feel so stupid right now. I have no idea what that is.
When did you go to college?
2012. Is it like an app or is it like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know if... I mean, I don't know if it was out.
Yeah, back in my day.
Back in your day.
Old niggas get down. Anyway, so you in group me?
Yeah, it's like WhatsApp, pretty much.
Okay, got you.
So I was in group me's and there was like big ass groups. And I don't remember how I got into mine, but I think it narrowed. I think there was like a mass one, and then there's ones that are more concentrated, more narrowed down. And I didn't go the first semester, but I went the second semester, and I was still in contact with the people in it. So it was a little weird because some people fell out by then. But yeah, I literally went for one semester. I was there for 6 months, and I knew a lot of people.
Wait.
I got there.
You were in school for once.
I dropped out.
What happened?
Why did I drop out? I dropped out. I was paying out of pocket.
Oh,
you know, working security, you can do that.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money that you be making with overtime and whatnot. Like I was paying out of pocket. I fell out with my family, so I wasn't getting financial. Also, they did me dirty. Clark, Atlanta did me dirty because they were giving like this first year $5,000 scholarship.
Okay. Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I went in the spring semester, they counted that as my first year. So
Wait, what?
once the fall semester came and I was like, hey, where's the $5,000?
They're like, nah.
They're like, no, you're not getting it. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
But this, that. Like, I was there 6 months. So I don't say it's like whatever.
Right.
It wasn't that long enough to be like, oh my God, I was going hard. But like, I got a 4.0. So I'm like, I feel like that should be enough to like give me something. And they're like, no.
All right.
Fuck you.
So you dropped out. What was the plan after you dropped out? Actually, before you do that, so like, is there like a decisive moment you remember? Like, fuck it, I'm dropping. Like, when's the moment you decided I'm fucking leaving school?
Well, I finished the spring semester, and then I pretty much had like 2 months to come up with like $5,000.
So it was just the money thing.
Yeah.
So if you had the money, you would have stayed.
I think so. Being there though, like, there's a lot of cultural aspects that I appreciated about it, but I don't
See,
like.
all right, I want to get into that.
I don't like the organizational aspect of Clark, Atlanta.
Like
It was ratchet.
Like
yes.
ghetto?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, okay.
I know you're not trying shit on
I liked
them, but-
I liked my teachers. Like, it was cool.
Yeah.
Then being able to like walk around campus with a do-rag, nobody thinks too much about it.
Right.
Your teachers saying nigga and shit, bitches and hoes.
Wait.
They're saying niggas, bitches, and hoes.
Your professors?
I know, I said teachers, right? Yeah.
Wait. I can see it in the middle of the lecture like, this nigga tripping.
They were saying bitches and hoes.
That's kind of
Niggas,
fire.
bitches, and hoes. And yeah, like that was like, yeah.
Okay.
That was a breath of fresh air because,
Okay.
you know.
So you enjoyed the school. It's just the financial aspect of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
There were
That's
things.
real.
I did.
What does that mean?
Because, like, I liked things, but I was also very critical of things. I also kind of felt like I was living in the projects.
Like where your dorm?
My
is?
dorm felt like projects.
Honestly, probably.
And I felt like I was paying too much for that.
Okay.
And I've never lived in projects, so it's like, why?
I've never been
And
around.
like not, like obviously not to sound like that. Like I'm not trying to downplay.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But like, why would I go to college to
This shit's
experience
ghetto.
that? So
Nah, I
that had
feel
me
you, I
fucked
feel
up.
you.
Like, we had visitation rules.
Really?
We had like people couldn't come in.
Okay, that's stupid.
Girls
a dry
couldn't come
campus?
into our dorm.
Was it a dry campus?
Like,
They
yeah,
couldn't have alcohol.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
But
tragic.
we were 18 and
Mhm.
girls
Right,
couldn't
as
come
an
into our
adult.
dorm.
Yeah, that's weird.
What's that about?
Yeah. Trying to
That
keep
was
it-
weird.
Yeah, no, that is weird.
Yeah, and then I felt like admin was ratchet, and I didn't fuck with that at all.
Okay.
But it
All
was
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta was cool.
Yeah.
My friends were cool.
Yeah. I was trying to get you shit on Atlanta. I'm not trying to get you to shit on the school. I was just curious. All right, so you drop out. What's the game plan after that?
After I dropped out, I started living with my cousin at the time, and then that's kind of how I got into. That's how I got into doing videography, photography.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a little bit of a history with it because people used to make me do family events.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, you're good with the camera. Let's go put that to use." She started going on tour for her father's estate, Peter
Ooh.
Tosh, and
Who's Tosh?
he's a Jamaican reggae artist.
Okay.
He was in the Wailers with Bob Marley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I was
So-
just listening to Bob Marley this morning, too. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
It's colorism
What do you mean?
because he's dark skinned. He was like the more talented one.
Okay,
He's
let's
like
get
one of
into
the
this, 'cause
founding
I'm
one of the
completely
founding
ignorant.
people, but he wasn't the one with the spotlight because
He wasn't like
Bob Marley
like,
is
skin
Bob.
like
Yeah.
Marley. Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Look him up.
Is this how you feel, or is like
No, this is a fact.
Because no, honestly, I'm completely
he's a very
ignorant.
distinguished artist.
All right, let me look because I'm completely ignorant to this because I have no idea.
If you go to Jamaica, if you ask your parents about him, I guarantee they'll know.
How do you say it?
Peter Tosh.
Oh yeah, he's Jamaican.
You're making cues to yourself.
He's Jamaican as shit, boy.
Yeah,
100%.
he has. Isn't an album? He has an album called Legalize It, and he was like one of the first people to talk about the medicinal values of cannabis.
So he was part of the Whalers.
Yeah, he's one of the founding people of it. If not the founder
of the band. Okay, so who was following the Whaler, like him around? You said,
huh?
You said somebody was going on tour.
No, he's died. He dead. He died
Okay.
in like the 70s.
Okay.
But my cousin Nyambi Tosh was campaigning for
Wait, okay.
like
time out. I'm sorry.
Weed.
I'm sorry. I am so lost right. So
my cousin
is related.
Is his daughter.
Did you say that?
I don't know.
Completely, because I heard you said you're like, what's your cousin's name?
Nyambi
Tosh. I'm like, is it related? Okay, so they're related.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be good to know.
Yes. So okay. She was on a tour, like, pretty much, like, the goal was to decriminalize
marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I was traveling with her to speaking engagements and like filming her and doing shoots, and she bought the camera and we would do stuff. Okay. That's kind of how I started.
So is that like your?
And I was like, huh?
Is that like your first, like, I guess, entry into like professionally doing photography?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of already knew that I was, because I went to school for mass media.
Okay.
So it was film, journalism, radio. I had an idea that I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So like once I left, I started like binging like filmmaking and photography and whatnot. And while I was there, another one of my critiques was like I felt like I was teaching myself everything anyway and just showing up. And I was like, I really don't need y'all. If this is gonna be,
if you're gonna be paid
the
all
trend,
that money, right?
And then I also felt like a lot of the things that they were teaching us was outdated, just old. Like they were teaching us shit from like the 70s, 60s, and I was like, we're in the internet age and you're wasting my time.
Wait, what do you mean like what's the difference, would you say?
I can't really think of like exactly what it was because I cheat. Like,
so was it like techniques, like?
Yeah,
like
it was like the history of like filmmaking, history of journalism, and like I don't care.
Right.
And that's not. I didn't really feel like the things that. It was a while ago, so I don't remember. Exactly.
I understand.
But I didn't really think it was relevant, and I didn't think there was practical application, and I felt like I was wasting my time.
No, that's fair. That makes sense.
And I just cheated because I'm just like I'm not retaining this.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I respect it because like I wanted to drop out of college so bad, and the only reason I didn't is because like I guess my mom's generation, they're like, well, not my mom's generation, but my mom and her siblings are like they grew up. When I mean dirt poor, like no shoes going to school, like dirt poor in Jamaica. Yeah. Like, so higher education is like the fucking goal to them. It don't mean jack shit to me. You know what I mean? So when she brought me here, like she stressed it so much, I felt like it was a goddamn obligation.
Yeah.
But I was miserable the whole fucking I didn't go to my graduation. That's how much I hated school.
Oh my God.
I was like, did I finish the classes? I passed everything. Like I'm
done.
Good. All right. I'm not paying no money to go fucking walk across. Go fuck yourself.
You have to pay for that?
I had to pay for some shit, some fee and cap and gowns. I'm like, I'm not doing. And it wasn't like a lot of money. It's just I've had enough by the end of my college years. I was like, I'm not paying another fucking dollar because I had to pay myself through school. Like I had to send myself to school. So I was like, I just didn't want to pay anything else. I was like, y'all can ship my shit to my house. I'm not going to graduation.
For the theatrics.
Yeah, it's just
pretty
dumb.
Much.
It's just dumb. And
What'd
my
you
mom
go
was
for?
Pissed too. Marketing. Well, I initially went for business. I just business admin, just regular business, because they didn't offer marketing at the time. But then they introduced it literally right before my senior year, so I had to switch. I switched to marketing. I had to to meet all the requirements.
Yeah.
I had to do an extra semester. So instead of graduating in May, I ended up school in December, and then I was just like, no.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, so I got the degree.
Fed up too.
Huh? Yeah, I was just so done. And the only reason, like I said, the only reason I stayed is because of my mom. So I'll say is, I respect you dropping out and making the decision because I was too much of a bitch to do it.
I mean, I feel like
because if you know it's not
hard
for you, it's
to
not
break
for
into
you.
the. Are you trying to get into marketing? Like, do you want to?
I mean, it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed marketing. I enjoy that, like, I guess that aspect of business, but it's not a goal.
Like an end goal.
I just want to make money. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck.
I feel like with photography and like the creative industry, so much of it is online, is on the internet. Like I've taught myself how to do stuff through YouTube anyway. That I was just like, I don't really feel like I need to go.
Yeah.
Especially if it wasn't like an art school.
Right. Like liberal arts is like I hate shitting on this type, like, but like people who go to school for like fashion, I'm kind of like, come on. Like,
I don't know though, because
you know,
I know people that have,
and I know, listen,
have gone,
I know great people that have like great fashion, like they're really good at what they do, but I'm like, did you need college to pull it out of you? You know what I mean? Like, it just, listen, I want my doctors to go to school. If you're gonna cut, right? If you gonna cut me open and give me heart surgery, motherfucker, I need you to school for like 15 years. Like, I need to know you studied every goddamn leaf of the book. That's different. But like, even for me, like,
I get what you mean.
You know, like, even for me, business, did I really need college at this day and age? Like, think about YouTube, the internet, and like you know, the course website, like Udemy, all in places. Like, you know,
I think there's like multiple ways to go about that, because for a lot of people, college is more networking. So I've been seeing a lot of TikToks recently. Like, if you're first generation college, you don't go with the same intentions or with the same game plan as people whose parents have also gone. So if you go to college and college has been like the end goal, then like the degree is the end goal. But other people know that you go to like sororities and you go to these organizations or whatever. It's for getting a network for afterwards. And I think that is why a lot of people go to college and they go to prestigious ones.
No, 100%. That's definitely why you go to the Ivy Leagues.
I didn't go to college for that. I was just a little bit social. So I just happened to like be friends with people that like were in sororities and wanted to be in like around everybody. But also I did not like sorority culture at all. Why? I thought I feel like I should
say it. Say it. Nobody gonna listen to this podcast. Be fine.
I thought it was a lot of dick eating.
Really?
I did.
In what sense?
And like I also think that I kind of have a superiority complex anyway. It just is what it is.
I relate.
Yeah. So I'm just like, like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
it's not worth your. No, I get it.
I thought the parties were fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And it was a little entertaining, like seeing people doing the strolls and shit. But like the whole like, oh, this person's rushing and this person's crossing and
it's the
this person and that person is just like, these are not celebrities.
Yeah, it's the politics of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the politics of it. I get it.
But also I was gonna say that I don't think everybody has the same drive. So some people do need that structure of going to college and like sitting down and having somebody tell them to yes. Oh. Because I created for the sake of creating, because I wanted to be good at it, and just because like I do art.
To that I would say is like, if you need, and listen, if college is for whoever it's for, but if you need college to push you in that sense, I don't think you're gonna make it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to some level, you gotta want it, have a certain level of interest and ambition about whatever your goal is. If you need college to say, hey, read this, take that, do this, take this course, do this internship, like, yeah, pushes you towards it. Don't get me wrong. What happens when college is not there anymore?
Which I agree with, because I agree to some extent, I mean? Because I think that there are a lot of people that tie their identity to academia and then they're fucked. And they have no sense of identity after they leave. I do a lot.
Like, oh yeah, I went to Princeton. Like, bro, you are 45.
And that's your peak.
Like, stop saying you went to Princeton. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but I also think that there are a lot of people that don't need to be the star. There's a lot of people that are good in the support role. And I think like that's the avenue that they take. Like, if you're not the self-starter, you're not the person that's gonna
go to college.
If you're like, if you're not the person that like wants to be the best at what you do or wants the name or the notoriety, then I feel like being told what to do works for you. And that's like the avenue that you went down, like having it structured out for you. So, cause like that's what school's for, to like make you compliant as a 100%, worker.
100%.
So some people are okay being the worker, like the worker bee.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't know that.
Because it works.
I get it was like, because if you know, like, hey,
people don't think that deeply.
I don't see why not, but I think
life would be a lot easier if I didn't think that deeply.
Oh, I feel like it'd be miserable. Trust me.
It's miserable when you think about it and engage in it.
Yeah.
It's when you're like aware of
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I can see that.
I feel like for art, for social media, you don't necessarily need to go, but there's also a threshold that you reach where you don't know what you don't know.
Well, my only thing is like, yes, I agree with what you're saying in the sense of like, you know, people go to college to build networks, to get opportunities, but don't market college, because my thing is just the deception of it. That's what I can't fuck with.
I do think that
you know what I mean?
A scam, like, overall,
don't market college as some place like, oh, you're gonna come here and learn something. I cannot tell you I remember a few things, but if I really sit here and told you something I generally learned from college, I'd be lying. Like,
do you think you've applied anything?
I apply shit I learned in high school.
Damn.
More than I apply shit I learned in college. And again, maybe it's just because I went for like just general business and marketing, so I really haven't had the.
But like,
you know, I don't know. I just don't fuck with college.
Entrepreneur wise, you think that?
I don't think it's college though. I think entrepreneurship is initially one, having the guts and ambition to pursue something, and then two, by doing that, it's the experience. Yeah, the best entrepreneurs is experience. It's not that's why, like, bro, look at all the fucking Facebook, all these companies, they all drop out of the school because they're like,
because they had loans. Of like,
that's a different subject. They definitely had the resources, but my point is they didn't.
I get it though.
They didn't need the degree to like tell them how to run Facebook, tell them how to start Instagram or all these goddamn. Work. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all I'm saying is like, if you're a person who recognizes that potential or ambition in yourself, I strongly think you should consider.
I think you need that superiority complex, like a little bit of it, like. Yeah. Because I kind of just feel like, oh, I'll figure it out. I just have that baseline.
I'm the same way.
Idea of just like, I'll figure it out, and I think that I'm gonna be good at stuff.
See, that's a double-edged sword all the time. Me though, because I feel the same. Like I'll have like even right now I have like a business, not even the idea, but like a business I'm trying to purchase or acquire, and I'm excited about it, and I'm I'm like, yeah, I got this, but I start to act like I already own the fucking thing, like. I don't own it yet. You know what I mean? Like, I still gotta go fucking pursue it and do it. So sometimes I gotta like pull myself back, like, hey, you still gotta fucking go get it and stop acting like you have it. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right, let's go back to you.
Okay. I was gonna ask you.
No. Let's go back to you. So photography. Let's go into photography. So you're going around with your cousin, and that's kind of like your introduction to photography. After that, is this like, all right, I'm gonna do this as a business, or when did you like diving into it? Like, hey, I want to make money from this.
So I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
That was my initial goal, and I was on this website called Skillshare. Have you ever?
Yeah, I heard Skillshare.
Yeah, I was paying for it, and one of the courses that I paid for was.
Oh wait, time out. See what I'm talking about? What did you just say?
What?
You on this website called what?
Skillshare.
Shit, you'll probably never learn in college.
Yeah, no, I promise you everything.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Everything I learned there, I definitely still use.
That's what I'm saying.
I was in college for 6 months, so like, there's not much of an opportunity.
Listen, I'm jealous. I wish I left.
But I do think that I would have gotten valuable things because I went to a school that specialized in my major, and it was TV film production, like.
Yeah, fair.
But that's not the point.
Yeah,
I didn't. Fuck them.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Skillshare. I keep interrupting.
Yeah. And it was like, the best filmmakers are photographers first. And I was like, oh, whatever.
I don't do that bullshit.
What fucking ever.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I was illustrating first. Like, I started as a digital illustrator. And I sucked at compositions. And I felt like I wanted to get back into painting and, like, drawing and use my own stuff as references, but I hated drawing. So I was like, oh, this is good enough. Like, once I started doing photography, I was like, oh, I don't need to convert this into something else. But I started making money. When did I decide that I wanted to make money from it? Other people kind of decided for me because I was creating for the sake of creating. Like, I had cute friends, and I would just be like, "Hey,
like
let's do stuff."
Like, hey,
I just got lucky because I just had model friends, and we would take pictures, and they came out good.
Right.
And then people kind of started. I don't remember like when it clicked for people that I was doing photography, but people would ask me to like, "Oh, I need a photographer." Like, can you do this event?
Yeah.
Oh, I need a photographer. Can you do this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually hated the money part of it. I felt like it sucked the soul out of it, which is mad stereotypical because like that makes me cringe when I hear other people
I get
talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's like really a thing. Like once you add money into the recipe, it makes it too complex.
Yeah, it makes. I think it changes the purpose of you doing what you do. Like you don't enjoy it anymore. As like, and this is why even this podcast is like, yeah, I wanted to be successful, but I don't think I ever want to do it to pay my bills.
Yeah,
you know
which is why I work security.
Right. It's just like I don't want to have to do an interview so I can fucking pay a mortgage or something. Like that sounds miserable.
Because you end up doing things that you don't want to do, and I'm a big person.
Exactly.
I'm a big self-autonomy person, and I felt like I used to feel disrespected when like people didn't want to pay me as much as I wanted to be paid. So that I also didn't like that. And if I was doing it for less money, then I gave a fuck about it less, and then I wouldn't. I feel like if I was doing it for less money and not caring, then I wouldn't get better at it. And I'm not putting my best effort forward for chips.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I started making money off of it because people needed a photographer and they offered to pay me.
Yeah. So it wasn't like you didn't like put your name out there. It's just like it just happened naturally.
Yeah.
You just was working.
I still don't pitch to people. Really? And I need to. Like, right. I would
because you have like a full-blown business now.
Yeah. I would make so much money if I pitched. I'm like, no, I want people to come to me. And they do.
Right. And I mean, it's really working for you. Right. No, it clearly
But I know that I'm like,
the potential is there to do more. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I also didn't claim to be a photographer for a while. Like I didn't tell people I was because I wasn't confident enough. Like I was confident that I could do good stuff, but I wasn't confident enough that I always could. You know what I mean? Like,
explain that.
Like, it's like, you know that you're good at stuff.
Right.
You know that you'll figure stuff out. But I wasn't 100% confident that I would always execute. Like, I wasn't sure of my ability to adapt to any situation that came across.
I got you. So, but sorry, I think that goes back to what I said earlier. Is like every entrepreneur, it's just an experience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
it's being afraid of failing.
Exactly. I think I don't know how long you've been doing photography now.
Now it's been since, I would say, the beginning of 2018.
Yeah, so 5 years.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you've been through
now
a
I'll
shit
do
ton of
whatever.
scenarios, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, think about back then when you're like, oh, I don't know if I can handle if this happened or whatever. This. So now you're like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
I just show up and I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
I'll figure it out.
No worries, no stress. But that's the experience. That's dope. All right, I want to go back to what you said. You said a little bit earlier, like, you know, the battle with people not wanting to pay you for what you're worth.
Yeah.
How, I guess, did you overcome that? What strategies did you use to like deal with those situations? Because, you know, everybody that provides a service, they deal with that. You know, mechanics, fucking everybody. Like, you always come with people like, oh, why is it so expensive? Or, you know, like, I felt like you didn't do this good job. Like, how you deal with those situations?
I deal with that by
Go
making money
themselves.
in other ways. No, literally. I'm a big advocate of go fuck yourself.
Really?
You know this.
I mean, I know it. I don't know
You have an
that
idea
from a
of it.
business standpoint. Because, you know, a lot of people, how I know you personally, you could be completely different. I've never done business with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could be a completely different person.
So it also, okay, I make money in other ways, so I'm not reliant on photography, videography, so I can turn things down whenever I want. I'm pretty selective about what I'm going to do, and I also take into account somebody's circumstances in my relationship with them. Generally, if they don't want to pay me, then I have photographer friends that you can go ask them. Because I'm not fucking doing it. If I like you, you're my friend, I know your circumstances, then yeah, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
But also, one thing that I did start doing was being like, okay, we can do a payment plan.
What's the response you get to that?
People are way more what's that word?
Apprehensive?
No.
They're willing to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
People are way more willing to do a payment plan. There was one time that I offered a payment plan and she was like spacing it out a good amount, and I sent her like a snippet of the edits and she paid me the rest. Right then and there. So people will pay for what they think. People will pay for it. You just have to like urge them a little. And then also, I noticed that when you're just like, oh yeah, this amount, that helps.
Like you're nonchalant about it?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, this is it.
It's like no negotiation.
I think the biggest thing that helped me was making money in other ways, because I do think that I would have taken on anything if I just needed the money. But yeah, I still like struggle with it, because when like a corporation comes to me, I don't know their threshold. Like, there's general questions that you can ask, like, what's your budget, what's the turnover, like how many edits and whatnot. But they're always gonna try to lowball you,
right,
especially when you're black.
Do. Yeah, that's right.
Especially when you're black.
I see. I'm so ignorant to this world. So like, forgive me if I'm asking stupid questions, but like, what do you mean? Especially
like,
it's just like they don't.
For instance, say, well, I don't want to say, say big company comes to you.
Big company X.
I genuinely think that if they go to John Smith versus you, like either of us, they're automatically gonna perceive us as like less value.
Then why go
less
to you?
Offer?
You know what I mean?
Because it's cheaper.
I guess.
Like, also, I also think that there is a disconnect between white people and everyone else, because I think John Smith is more likely to ask for $5,000.
And because
so there is a cap that I think we put on ourselves to some extent. I was
about to say, so like, is it a thing where like, because when it comes to, I haven't been
one more thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
And if I ask for $5,000, I think I'm gonna get a drastically different response than John Smith.
You think so?
So I think that it's like a double-edged sword, because John Smith is gonna ask for $5,000, and he might get pushback, but I don't think it's the same response as if I were to ask for $5,000.
Like, get the fuck
It'd be
out
like,
of
you
here.
should just be happy that we even came to you.
It's the opportunity.
Yeah.
What I like to use exposure.
For exposure. This is an opportunity. Fuck you.
For exposure.
Fuck you and your exposure. I don't think I've ever gotten anything out of exposure.
What the fuck is that? Like,
it's pretty much saying that if you do this project for us, then you're gonna make money from us, the reach. And that has never happened.
But I'm like, who does that? Like, nobody does that shit. Like, who does that work for?
I think the people that offer it don't actually have that pull.
Right.
Because I'm sure that there is someone out there that if I worked with.
Okay, perfect example. If Beyonce fucking DMs you, like,
yeah,
hey, I need a free shoot, but I'll pay
there.
you an exposure. Okay, fair.
Quick, I'm gonna get paid off of that.
Okay, fair.
There are gonna be material results of me doing a free project for her. Like, I'm gonna make plenty of money off of that.
But that's my thing is though, this is how I feel, because again, I truly don't know. But like, unless Beyonce literally shouts you out like, hey Shaun, thanks for doing a great job with this shoot, blah blah blah, or this video. Unless she does that, as opposed to you just doing the work and she post it and not say anything, where's the benefit?
I think her impact. She might not be a good example, because I think her impact, if she just drops a photo that I took and my name was in the caption, my followers would be up.
I mean,
like,
I can see that.
I would have publications in my DMs, like, because people have found me anyway, not working with Beyonce. So like a celebrity at that scale, like it would definitely. Okay. It would be worth it. Fair. These other people is not fucking worth it.
Yeah, like, absolutely not.
You cannot quantify the impact that our collaboration will have on me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been one person. There are people, but actually, I would say that like a lot of the people that pay me actually have gotten me paid in other ways.
What do you mean?
Like people that have paid
like other
for
clients
shoots.
Off top. I mean, yeah,
like
I feel
people
like
have found me through them, so it's like
I feel like that's how it's supposed to work, though. I don't feel like you're supposed to like this whole idea like exposure. Yeah, it's nice if it works. The rare times it works, but even then, you should still pay for the service. Yeah. Exposure is not. You can't go to your landlord and be like, I'm gonna pay you fucking exposure this month. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna make TikToks about our apartment.
That's what I'm saying. And like, if you are big enough to give somebody exposure, you should have money to fucking pay.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. That's all, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, that's all I'm saying.
I just saw this tweet recently, and the guy was like, photographers get mad when you don't credit them, as if I didn't pay all this money. And I was just like,
how do you feel about that?
I asked the question and I never got a reply. I said, do you feel like you're paying to promote them? Because that's what that seems to me. It's like, okay, I'm not going to credit you because I paid for this shoot, because I don't want you to make money off of this post,
that's
because I paid. I paid.
And it's just stupid. It's the same, like, you know how you look on somebody's license plate and it's like fucking Bernard Auto or some shit on the license plate? Yeah. It's the same shit. Yeah. Like, you pay for the car, what, you gonna take the goddamn license plate off?
I'm like okay, so you want to stop my bag because you have to pay?
Selfish bitch. Like, no, I agree. What's the biggest, I don't know if you can say, what's the biggest company you've worked for so far?
Biggest company I've worked for so far was Lexus.
How was that?
It was crazy.
Okay. What was it like? Did you have to go somewhere?
So I didn't work like, okay, I don't think I worked. I guess it was Lexus. I worked, okay.
It was like a firm
I'm gonna explain exactly how it happened because I was shook. I was shook.
It's big time, baby.
It happened like 2 months. What month is it? It happened in August.
Oh, so it's recent. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
I worked with my biggest clients this year.
Okay.
Like
All
this
right, so
year has been my biggest peak and my biggest fall.
So before we get into the big brands, when would you say you started working with big brands, quote unquote big brands?
I got my first commercial projects this year.
This year. Okay, so let's say last year, what was it looking like? Just modeling or?
Last year was, last year I like fully was like, okay, I'm a photographer.
Okay.
Like I was a photographer before then, but last year I like actually was like, I'm gonna actually like put myself out there, do shoots frequently and whatnot. So I was working more so with models, individuals, like brands, not brand, like restaurants,
like local,
local boutiques, restaurants, just like doing everything. And then I would also do events. So I was doing nightlife. So yeah, it was just more so like just being behind the camera all the time, like all the time. And then I kept saying like, I feel like this year is gonna be crazy. I feel like this year is gonna be crazy. I can already tell. And then it was crazy. I've made the most amount of money I've ever made.
That's awesome.
Off of freelancing this year.
That's so fucking
and I've spent so much.
Oh, well, chill out though. You know you gotta pay taxes, right?
I know.
Don't get caught up.
I didn't make anything. I made nothing.
I made shit. I'm in the red.
I've been working for exposure all year for the past 5 years.
I made $1. All right, back to Lexus. So how did Lexus go?
Okay, so one night I was on Instagram and I get this DM and someone's like, "Hi, I'm working for the Beyonce Renaissance tour and I need a photographer for this Lexus event." And I'm like, this is a scam. Why are they in my fucking DMs?
Fuck out of here. You gonna ask my social next?
I was like, why are they fucking pissing me the fuck off? Because I want to see Beyonce so bad.
Playing with my emotions.
I wanted to see her. And I was just dissociating because I was just like, I'm not going to see her. And then someone's playing in my fucking DMs. So that had me fucked up. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I look up the company name and I was like, okay, they are sponsoring the Beyonce tour with Lexus. So I'm like, I think I asked like a couple questions and I'm like, here's my email, like let's follow up. I gave them like a quick brief I gave them a quick project brief, just spelling out like the date, just confirming like the date, the project, what they wanted and whatnot. And they gave me a contract and all that, and it was crazy because it was literally 5 days before the concert. And they offered me $1,000 for 3 hours in unedited photos.
3 hours in unedited photos?
Unedited photos.
Okay. So what was it? Where was it, you said?
It was at Gillette.
Oh, so it was a local. It was
at the concert.
Like, oh, the one she did in Gillette.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay, so what was I guess during the shoot, what was it like? Were you like trying to see Beyonce? Or?
Yeah. So leading up to it, they didn't tell me if I would see her or not. So I was thinking, I was just like, oh my God, like, are they going to let me see her? Like, what is this going to be like? Mind you, I ended up being mad late.
Come on, man.
I know. I did a shift prior to it.
Oh, so you worked right before.
Yeah.
Hey, respect.
But I Ubered there and I got there on time, but like getting to where I needed to be was a whole thing.
You can imagine the logistics of a Beyonce concert.
Yeah, because I pretty much like I arrived at the entrance, but I needed to end up on like the back, and I walked
through,
and it was hot as fuck.
Ugh.
I walked around like they wouldn't let me.
I was about to say, like, you want the
mind you, like I was talking to them. I'm like, hey, I'm here. It's just I'm trying to find you.
Yeah.
So I was like 30 minutes late, and I'm just like, honestly, as like problematic as it sounds, that like got rid of all my nerves.
Just dealing with that moment.
Because it was just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like I'm late as fuck.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
all the nerves are.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the worst that could happen.
You're probably like, let's just get this shit over with.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm like, this
fuck
is
it.
the worst that could happen. Like being late as fuck. Like yeah. So once I showed up, I didn't give a fuck. Because I think that's what it was. It was just like, at that point, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm here. Let's see if I can get away with it. Like they didn't care, honestly. And then when I showed up, it was a Renaissance Club VIP type of event. So it was a bunch of people that had like Beyonce concert costumes, Beyonce Renaissance costumes that they were just pulling out of the stadium to
Just
come
taking
like
pictures.
pose with the Lexus.
Oh, okay. Which hence the Lexus event.
It was a showroom. So there was this Lexus and it had good ass lighting. Like they had money, they had money because the lighting was bomb. I'm pretty sure, actually I can't say that. I'm not sure if, I feel like they were pro photo lights and those are expensive. Like I want some, they're $1,000 easily. Yeah, I want one so bad.
Should have took that. No,
it was on a ceiling.
Don't listen to me. I'm fucking with you.
But yeah, like pretty much they gave me this long ass shot list, and I was like,
"What's a shot list?
I don't give a fuck."
What's a
shot list? Is pretty much like we want a picture of all the signs, we want a picture of people interacting with the car, people interacting with the karaoke, people interacting with the rodeo. We want some off guard. We want ambiance. We want some product shots, so we want some with the Lexus emblem. We want some full body shots. Like that's pretty much a good amount of them, honestly. Yeah. And I'm like, bet for $1,000 and I don't have to edit. Like, yeah, I'll get all of it.
So how was it shooting the people they pull? Like, actually, fuck the people. What's it like working with like? I need what's the most difficult, I guess, client or model or whoever you've ever, and I have to say names.
I know. I've been dying to say something like this, and of course I'll think of it.
Say it.
Because I've been saying, I have photographer friends, and I'm like, I just want a podcast where we're just dragging people, like dragging our worst clients.
Do it.
I'm trying to think, who had me the most fucked up. I might have to think about it.
So you never had a moment where like you just fucking left or you fucking cuss somebody out?
I feel like
Listen.
What year was this? Was it this year?
What are the big brands?
No. Was that last year or this year? Because something trifling really did happen.
Oh, really?
And obviously, I've had some issues with people.
I mean, if you can't remember, it probably is not that.
I mean, there's one thing that I can think of, but I don't know if I want to talk about it.
I mean, say it. Just don't put names. Because clearly that's the one. If you don't want to talk about it, say it.
I'm trying to think if I can think of another one. If not, I'll just say that one.
It's fine.
Because there are plenty of people that have had me fucked up. I don't think I've ever had to walk off of Oh, no, there was one time.
There you go. Ding, ding. All right, go.
I'll tell you them both. One time somebody tried to get me to give them head. That was the one that I didn't want to talk about. Yeah. So there's like this stigma of photographers like using.
I was not thinking that shit. That shit just went left.
I know.
Anyway, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Photographers be creepy as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like they be awkward. They be ugly. Like sometimes that is their gateway to like beautiful women, beautiful men, And like that's a stigma where like photographers are weird.
Okay.
And like I've never been weird, so it's funny that I had the other
Yeah, the
like,
flip side of it, like the
it.
actual person was.
Yeah. I mean, like, long story short, yeah, like we did a shoot and he was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to do like an in my underwear, like in my Calvins type of shoot." And I'm just like, sure, whatever. Like, I don't care.
I'm just doing my job.
Yeah,
right.
because also when I'm in photographer mode, it gets real mechanical sometimes, especially when you're dealing with someone who you think is like a little like, because I already had a little bit of like hints that it was a little like interesting.
Yeah.
So I was just like real rigid.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're like shooting for a little bit, and I honestly wasn't really liking the shots. And then he's like, "Oh, look what happened."
Get the fuck.
And I'm just like, "What?" And he's like, "Look." And then I was just like,
"Oh my
god."
So
well,
what's the move?
I noticed. I was like, "Oh, that's fine. It's whatever." Like during shoots, they just put a sock over it. So just put a sock over it.
Yeah,
like I literally was just ignoring it. But like I can tell that that's
what they're alluding to.
Yeah.
That
he wanted some head.
Fucking crazy.
That's probably the craziest thing that happened to me. But I definitely did end a shoot one time because this boy was being a cunt. And it was a free shoot at that. He wanted...
Oh, yeah. See, when it's free...
I thought we were cool. This is the first time I met somebody off of Twitter. And, like, we'd been, like, mutuals for, like, 3 years or so. So I was, like, pretty excited to meet him. But when he showed up, he was being so fucking bitchy. And, like, he was just talking the whole time. Like, like we're supposed to be shooting.
Oh, you guys were both shooting?
No, I was shooting him.
Oh, okay.
And not only was like the conversation not the best because it kind of just felt like I was interviewing him, and I didn't really like how he was acting, but I had a good day that day, so I didn't want him to bring me down. So I'm just going with it and asking him questions and whatever. And then like we come to a moment where we're shooting, it was just so dry, like you could just see the frustration. And then at one point he goes, "I don't even really care about if it's modeling anymore. Like I don't really care about this." Like,
so now he's just wasting your time.
And I was just like, we can wrap this up now if that's the case. And we did. And I was just like, "Oh, you got me fucked up." And I just never gave him his pictures.
Respect.
Because I'm just like, fuck you.
Respect.
And then I unfollowed him off everything.
Yeah, that is shitty. Because if you're taking it seriously and you're just fucking, you know.
He tweeted, "Oh, I want to build my portfolio."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
But see what I'm saying? It's people like that even if they go to college, probably not going to go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like they have this
You're
idea.
a bitch.
Exactly.
You a bitch.
You still don't like
me fucked up. I really don't. And I genuinely think if I saw him in person, I would definitely feel away. Because just off the strength of like, because I kept my composure the entire time, it makes me even more mad.
Right.
Because he probably should have just got cussed out.
Yeah. No, I get that part. All right. So before we move on to the next section, one last thing I want to ask. So what advice would you give to people that wants to get into the photography game or videography game? Like, you know, do this or get this equipment, or like just general advice.
What advice would I give people?
Because you've been doing it for 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
So you know some tips, you know some tricks. Yeah, make somebody's life easier.
Yeah. I would say to familiarize yourself with your camera lenses, because I use different lenses for different things.
Okay.
For instance, like I make sure that I always shoot portraits, like headshots, 50 millimeters.
Okay.
Always. That's like a rule of mine. Like every so often I'll do 35, but like generally speaking, if I'm doing a headshot, it's 50 millimeters. If I'm doing full body, it's typically 35 millimeters. People generally like it better because they're more true to the eye. Okay. When you shoot people at other focal lengths, sometimes it distorts their body, it distorts their heads, and they don't like it because like you got them looking fucked up. I also think that you should familiarize yourself with retouching and editing, because I think that is the bulk of the work.
Yeah, I feel like that's essentially the bread and butter of
It
it,
is.
right?
It is. Because if I just posted my raw stuff, like, nobody's going to stop and look at that.
Like, I took it.
If I, like, obviously there's composition, there's, like, depth. I think that you should get familiarized with the artistic aspects, the design aspects of art, because I think that's what helped me the most. Because I started off drawing, so I already had an idea of like foreshortening, which is like, you know, comics where it's like your arm. If you're throwing a punch at someone,
it looks like they're throwing a punch. Yeah.
Because you have like you made the hand bigger and everything else.
It's like the different proportions.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So like there were certain things that I used drawing that helped with photography. Also like your depth of field and perspectives. Like I don't know how to explain that. Like
yeah, that's some photography talk. Yeah. But, okay, so
understand like perspectives, value, depth of field, composition, color theory. Familiarize yourself with like monochrome. That's such an easy thing to like make yourself look good. Edit.
So
watch a masterclass for Lightroom and Photoshop. Go on Skillshare. Definitely go on Skillshare. I learned so much off of Skillshare.
I mean, that's pretty much where you learn to have a career, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that sounds like all technical stuff. What in terms of like?
Oh, you're so right.
No, it is.
No, I'm like where you're about to go.
What's the?
I think. Okay.
What do you think I'm about to say? No, go.
I think you're gonna talk about the personal aspect. No.
Yes, from a like I guess networking, getting clients, you know, just having bonds and connections in the industry. What's some advice you would give?
Yeah,
because you seem to be pretty good at that.
All the technical aspects are really important for execution wise, but also I feel like the product you get out of photography is your relationships with who you're shooting with. I think like with the person that I was talking shit about earlier, like we clearly didn't have chemistry, and I mean, like we got like a good picture, but I think that if we had a better connection, it would have came out good. Generally, I do have a good connection with the models that I have. I feel like a big thing that I learned when I first started shooting, I would ask people like, "What's something about a shoot that you hated?" Like, what's something that photographers do that you hate? And I used to ask everybody that. And they would be like, they're always so quiet. Like, I don't know if I'm doing good. I don't know if I'm doing bad. Like, they're not saying anything. And I'm just kind of in my head. And I talk a lot anyway. So, like, it was, like, a little reassuring for me. Because I'm usually directing people the entire time. I'm complimenting them. Like, you should always compliment. And I even, even if I hate something, like I'm still gonna say it looks good. Okay, let's do something. Let's do this next.
Let's try this.
Yeah. Because it's like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hate that.
Try it. What the fuck are you
doing?
Don't
make that face. That looks awful. Like you're just gonna kill somebody's confidence. And granted, I've done photo shoots with people, and I have pretty thick skin, and like there have been comments that photographers made that I'm just like, you shouldn't say that to people. Because I'm fine. Like I'm fine. I can be like, okay, like that was interesting, but like it's not gonna kill my vibe.
Right.
Whereas I know it would have. Like someone told me, don't do that. I hate that. And I was like, that's a funny way to say that. Like,
oh my God, it's fucking hilarious.
So I definitely think like validating people, knowing how to pose them, and like being particular about how you speak during plays a good role. Networking. I'm like not the best at that, to be honest, because again, I don't pitch, I don't reach out to people. I kind of am just like, I want people to come to me.
Right.
And they do, but not as much as if I.
But if you actually act, I feel like if you know, I guess.
If I did like cold emails, if I reached out and sent like slide decks, and like try to actively. I also don't submit any of my work to magazines.
I was about to say, it's like you don't do jack shit.
I do some stuff.
I mean, yeah, clearly. I mean,
because also, I used to literally not post on Instagram either.
So you just. I mean, that's pretty
which is kind of crazy
though.
Because like
that's what I'm saying.
People would hit me up and like I had a website. I did have a website, and it did have like a good amount of my stuff. But yeah, like people also would like. I think that one thing about networking also is just like casually bringing it up in conversation, because I've gotten a lot of clients that way, just being like, oh, I'm a photographer, or just like being in a coffee shop and editing. Like people have walked up to me.
That's how I know you did it. Hey,
because I edit everywhere.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say something.
I do think you gotta.
I know. Once I got hit up by like Lexus.
I was about to say like, or
not the marketing agency that was working for Lexus, and I got hit up by Shaun.
Hair.
The clothing company.
Yeah. No, I thought you meant like fucking Sprite. Whatever.
I don't know how to say it. Is it Shaun or is it Shein?
Shit, you asking the wrong.
Some people say it different.
I know the brand though. I know the brand you're talking about. So
they hit me up the next month after I did that.
And have you worked with them yet? Or
yeah.
What was that?
I felt like they paid me less. I felt like they paid me less than they should have, but also I was just like, I needed the money at that point,
right? Because
my hard drive corrupted.
Did you lose work?
I didn't lose work, but I had to pay $2,400 for data recovery.
Yikes. Anyway, Shaun.
Yeah. It was cool. It was a pop-up event, and honestly, a lot of people didn't come.
So you just.
Oh my god, am I even allowed to? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about Shaun, because I definitely signed.
Let me know. Something. I'll cut it out. Let me know. I'll cut it out if I have to.
But obviously, like, I work, like, the product is there. So I worked for Shaun at a pop-up event, and we made do with it. It wasn't in the best place, in my opinion, because a lot of people, like, there wasn't a lot of passerby traffic, because it was like it was a bus, a truck, a display truck, pretty much launching their college dorm because they wanted to get into like home essentials.
Okay.
So that one was videography, and it definitely came out way better than they expected, because they were like, "Oh, it's gonna come out in like 2 weeks." They posted it the next day.
That's awesome.
And I had to pull some of the employees and be like, I need you to pretend to be a person, because like I'm not gonna have anything. It's just gonna look dead.
Oh, so you had to like essentially do extra and have people actually...
I knew the type of shots that I needed to get, and based off of the organic traffic that was coming, I wasn't gonna get it.
See, and that's such a different mindset, because I'm thinking, oh, ain't nobody, I guess I ain't doing shit, because I'm still getting paid.
Well, like, yeah, I wanted it for my portfolio. So also,
so
like,
it's kind of like the extra motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, fair,
and I felt like for the amount of money they were paying me, it was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll do like a little bit of something.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. It came out pretty good. It's something that I definitely will benefit from. Yeah.
So where do you show all this work? Where's your portfolio?
I know it's not even anywhere.
Bro, come on, man.
It just happened.
Listen,
like...
get your shit together. You need a website before this episode comes out.
Okay, it's not on my website, but I do have a website.
Okay, all right, no, that's fair. That's fair. That works.
And I think I worked for Shaun and the Lexus company because I changed my Instagram name. Like, instead of having my name as Shaun, I have Shaun Boston, photographer, videographer, social media manager. And like immediately after that, it's long as fuck. It's not the bio, it's my name.
That's smart as shit though.
It's long as the fuck. Yeah. And they like, as soon as I switched that, I got inquiries. And I think it's just like, if people are coming to Boston for an event, and they need local talent, they're gonna look up on Instagram like Boston photographer, and I should show up. I've never tested it on someone else's phone.
Fucking genius.
But yeah, I can't take credit for it because I definitely found it on like a TikTok.
Still,
for just like SEO, but it's smart. It is smart.
That is smart as fuck. Holy fuck.
And once you go to my stuff, you're like, oh, he's
about to change the podcast name.
Yeah, no, definitely like put it in the name. Like it's not my username, but it's in my name, which I think has a higher search rank when you look it up.
Interesting. All right, so you ready to get into your song?
Oh yeah, I was like,
you're doing the song. I was like, what song?
I was like, my song.
You know what the podcast is about? Music.
I know, but it was just
so
like
fucking funny.
Me, I'm a musician.
That's hilarious. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Shaun. I'm a Boston photographer and videographer, and my song is "EXO Tour Life" by Lil Uzi Vert.
All right, so EXO Tour Life. Why that song?
Push me to the edge.
It's my shit.
All my friends are dead.
I don't know how I feel about him per se, but
he's a weirdo. Oh my god! Don't no, never mind.
No,
cut
no,
it,
no.
cut it. I don't know if I'll ever work with him. I try to be a little strategic. We love weirdos.
he's different, and you know I don't want him to have to be like the cliche fucking I'm a rapper thing. I don't.
I'm not a rapper.
No, like like the cliche like.
No, I'm not a rapper. I'm a rock star.
Oh, that's what he says?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, fair. But why that song? Why EXO Tour Life?
Wait, did we talk about this already? I don't remember how much I should get into.
No, just say why that song reminds you of Atlanta.
Oh, we talked about it before filming. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Okay, EXO Tour Life reminds me of Atlanta because the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this shit's lit. And my suite mate was bumping it, and I didn't want to ask, like, what the song was. There's something about that, like, not wanting to ask people.
Yeah, I get it.
The name of a song, especially if you're not friends, because it's like, now I idolize you a little. And I don't like that.
Because it's like, like, when you introduce a song to a friend, you have this like power over them. Like, yeah, I put you on.
Yep. And now I have to like secretly play it.
Exactly.
Because it's like, oh, I put you on.
No, 100%.
So yeah, and I don't think I liked him. So I don't think I asked him. I'm pretty sure I hounded it, or I try to like piece together the lyrics and like look it up on Google, and I found it, and it wasn't even on Spotify yet. It was on SoundCloud, and it was the demo version, okay, which is better than the final,
right?
In my opinion.
Okay, so EXO what's the song
Tour
called?
Life.
EXO Tour Life. Any other Little Uzi songs you like, or just that one song that?
That one song reminds me of being in my dorm.
Okay,
and there's a few songs that remind me of being in Atlanta. My Collection by Future.
Never heard it. I'm not a big Future fan.
Even if I hit you once, you're part of my collection.
Never heard.
Future was. I heard a lot of Future. I heard a lot of Migos living in Atlanta. That was one of my favorite parts about living in Atlanta. Going to clubs and the music is trap. Music is black. I hate it here.
It sound like you about to move back.
I don't want to move back, but there are things that I like about Atlanta. There are things I don't like.
But so does Boston outweigh Atlanta? Like the good things in Boston, does it outweigh the good things in Atlanta, or the bad vice versa? Like essentially, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to be here, or would you move to Atlanta?
I'm from here, so it's like, there is. I don't like to say that. I guess I hate giving Boston credit.
Yo, you just be hating on Boston. Man. What's going on?
Because I hate Boston. It's so like,
So why don't you just leave?
I want to. I think I want to go to New York.
My sister moved to New York.
Or LA. I haven't decided yet.
I know like a couple people in LA. So the thing with LA is, it's not even the opportunities, it's the people. The different breed of people in LA. Like from like just the homeless shit going on.
Oh yeah.
To the fucking vultures
That I might get sold.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like legit. All right, so we're coming towards the end of the podcast. I like to play a game.
Oh yeah, I do. I think I do like Boston more though, because it's more accessible. It's a city. It's faster.
Where's that coming from?
I just thought about it. More than Atlanta.
Oh, more than Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
No,
I
fair,
like
fair,
Boston
fair,
more
fair,
than
fair,
Atlanta
fair,
because of like it's closer to New York. Like there's stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I make more money here, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like it's because you're.
Actually, I don't know if I'd make.
Home.
I think I would make
because
money in Atlanta because there's more black people with money in
I
Atlanta.
feel like you would crush it in New York.
I think so too.
100%.
And LA. That's why I'm like deciding.
100%.
New York is like, I feel like it wouldn't be much of a difference from here.
Yeah.
And
don't get me
I
wrong.
didn't like how big LA was.
I
Like,
think New York is grossly overrated. I'm not a fan of it.
You're not a fan of
I've
it?
been to New York probably 5 or 6 times in my life. 4 of the 6 times has been absolutely fucking miserable.
Were they in the winter?
It's not even the condition. It's just I hate. There's just too much fucking people.
There is, and it
It's
smells
just too
disgusting.
much. And like I want to turn some shit on New York podcast. But it's like people act like New York is some like, oh, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. No, bitch. I've been to different countries in the world. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Cuba. Them niggas would switch with New York in a heartbeat. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's not some special place.
Well,
like,
people are speaking in an American
no, because
centric.
they're just so arrogant. Maybe it's because the Boston. I mean, they're so fucking arrogant about it.
I get it, though.
Like,
I get
shut up.
it.
Like, shut up. Anyway, that's just my 2 takes. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, to end that podcast, I like to play this game called On the Spot.
On the spot.
On the spot. So on the spot essentially is a game where I'll give you 3 different scenarios. For each scenario, you have to somewhat quickly, because it's kind of hard to like think about it right on top of your head. You have to, so 3 different scenarios. You have to quickly give me a song for each scenario.
Okay.
Only rule is you can't use the song your episode is about. So EXO Tour Life off the list.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you got this. All right, first one. Which one I'll go with first? All right. Fashion Week. What song are you walking the runway to?
What song am I walking the runway to?
It's probably a Beyonce song.
No.
No? You fucking with the Beehive?
I don't think she's giving me Fashion Week.
I mean, fair.
Run the World, Azalea Banks.
Really? Okay. Cool. Never heard it.
I'm eating the runway, serving the runway. You walk the runway. Da-da-da-da-da.
It's not the same as the Beyonce Run the World?
No.
Oh, okay.
Never
All
the
right.
Black Cat Meow.
Next one. You're shooting the cover of a music magazine. Who's the artist and which one of their song is playing?
I'm shooting the cover of a music magazine in.
Who's the artist that you're shooting and which one of their songs are you playing?
Rihanna. Do I want it? Yeah, I would shoot Rihanna. And we would shoot Needed Me.
Who?
Needed Me. I
have
think.
heard that.
I think.
Yeah. You think? Yeah. Listen. Are you sure? Final answer. Final answer. Rihanna Needed Me.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. Last one. This one's kind of silly. High speed chase running from the cops.
Huh. I need a ratchet one, like
Some city
a real
girls.
speed. Huh. High speed chase running from the cops. Oh my god, I'm trying to think.
On the spot.
I know, because I want to look so bad. Oh my god, this is hard. Because I can't just like bitch out. It has to be.
It
It has to be a good one. The Race by TK.
The what?
The Race by TK.
TK. Never heard of it.
Run
Okay,
out with
I'll
a
take
ghost,
it.
now you run out with some hope. Chopper in the sky, and it takes.
That sounds like some shit you would run from the cops with. That does sound.
Yeah.
All right, so
Come
that's
here, bitch.
it.
Oh.
That's
It's
it.
literally about
Oh, it
being on
literally
the
is?
run.
Oh, see, perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it took you a minute, but perfect. All right, so we're at the end of the podcast. That is your camera. Anything you want to say to the people? Plug anything? Say anything? It's all yours.
Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Shaun Tony. I'm a photographer. Book me,
Bitch. That's it.
bitch.
That's it. All right, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. This was fun.
I had fun too.
And till next season.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Hey, 2 months later. 2 months later.